Bulbosity tonight in all its live buttery goodness.
You're listening to Late Night Radio on the SHR Media Network. Caution, there will be mature themes explored and potentially adult language used. If conservatarian words, phrases, certain concepts, or rhetoric offends you, tune out now.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children in the bloodstream. The only way they can inherit the freedom we have known is if we fight for it, protect it, defend it, and then hand it to them with the well-taught lessons of how they in their lifetime must do the same. And if you and I don't do this, then you and I may well spend our sunset years telling our children and our children's children what it once was like in America when men were free.
Saloon is on, baby. Sides of your ears.
I'm climbing through the chaos, got the truth in my back. Leftist lies and globalists, I'm pushing them back. From the saloon to the airwaves, I'm spitting it raw. Constitution's my compass, liberty's law. Big gods creeping, shadows on the land. Feds with the schemes trying to bind up my hands. But I'm the Sherpa, guiding through the storm. Red, white, and blue, yeah, freedom's reborn. They spin their tails, but I see through the haze. Media maggots, lost in the maze. I'm calling it out, no fear in my soul. This patriot's fire ain't losing control. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. Freedom's calling. Leftist judges twisted, trying to steal our rights, but I'm locked and loaded, got them in my sights. From J6 to the border, they're selling us out. I'm screaming from the mountain, hear my rebel shout. They mock the flag, but I'm holding it high. Stars and stripes forever under God's open sky. No globalist chains gonna cage this land. I'm the Sherpa with the truth in my hand. They push their agenda, but I'm breaking the mold. Their promises empty, their hearts ice cold. Chicago's bleeding, borders torn apart. I'm fighting for the people with the warrior's heart. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. I've walked the line, 41 years, badge on the grind, now I'm on the air. My voice like a blade, cutting through the lies that the traitors made. Hurricanes rage, but we're standing tall. Sheriffs of the Constitution answering the call. From the saloon to the heart of the fray, we're taking back America, no more delay. Conservative Sherpa leading the fight. Torch in the dark, burning bright in the night. Stand for the truth, won't bow to the game. Sherpas, come and remember my name. Sherpas rising. The static, hear my voice resound. Conservative Sherpa, freedom's battleground. Berserk, Bobcat, Rose will never kneel. For God and country, this fight is real.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show. Live and direct right here on the SHR Media Network in my closet, which used to be a big SHR studio. But the big SHR studio is now owned, loved, and held and hugged with great lovingness by Sean of Edge of Liberty, who is still there holding the SHR Media studio together in Chatramato, Kalifailure. And by the way, I am this guy. I am the dudeth of which we hast recently spake. That is to say, your emergency Sherpa, your bulbous Sherpa, your Sherpalicious Sherpa, your conservative Sherpa, this guy right here. And I'm here to make sure that you don't get caught up in the massive maelstrom of Democrat lies and globalist lies and chaos and deceit and betrayal and all that stuff. And I just want to let you know that what you're going to hear for the next 2 hours consists of my opinion and my opinion only. And the drinks, what about the drinks, BZ? Well, what is this? This looks like a glass called We the People. And gosh, I wonder where I got that. Wait, remind me, and I'll tell you in just a moment or two. Now, you may think BZ, because that's my name. This is full of, I don't know, alcohol, right? No, it's not full of alcohol because I'm still kind of getting over the crap that I had before. I didn't go into the specifics, and I didn't want to put this up because I thought there's no real need for people to see this. If I can find it, I'll show it to you. Shoot, I didn't even upload it. How sad. I uploaded everything but this. How sad. But anyway, I just want to tell you for tonight, I am doing the job that the American media maggots will not, that they refuse to do. I am fundamentally changing America's diaper, one leftist diaper at a time. And we do not water aforementioned drinks because we don't water our conversations here. Okay, I'll give it up. This glass you can get at, I believe, 7 Armors, 7armors.com. And before I even really finish the show, I should continue with the rest of the stuff, saying that we're still serving stiff drinks in the saloon, along with facts and history and logic and rationality and proportion and clarity and context, tradition, and politics, religion, crime, culture, race, sex, economics, science, law. We talk about it all right here at the saloon, where the speech is free, but sadly, this booze is not. But I can tell you where you can get some of your own. If I go over to this right now, quick like a bunny. Damn it, Jim, that's not it. Let me go over to this then. Here we go. You can, and I would highly recommend that you go over to the SHR Media shop. And what can you do there? You can find some of the finest SHR merch known to man in the 5 finest galaxies of your own little pulchritudinal thoughtibus in your brainulus. This is the best place. Excuse me, point the right way, BZ. This is the best place to go for SHR stuff. And at the conclusion of the show, like I customarily indicate, you can go to the Rumble channel, BZ Saloon on Rumble, and look at all the links, all the show links, all the articles, all the videos, because there's no room for those sons of bitches on YouTube. Let's scroll down here through this a little bit. I'm watching the portrait view, and you can actually see this, a semblance of this. Oop, wrong. No, point that way. Up? No, it's up. There we go. On portrait view, it's up. And you can't see the little teeny things here, but I mean, look, SHR has a 250 reasons, beautiful 250th anniversary of the United Snakes of America. Then right next to that, an Edge of Liberty t-shirt, an SHR Media mug, a hoodie, but I'm not going to recommend the hoodie because it doesn't have a zip. BZ likes zips. This is a gorgeous mission-ready men's shirt. Look, the best shirt here, BZ's Conservative Sherpa. I would expect everyone to order 75 of those. If you order now, you can get them in time for Christmas, way early before Christmas, and disseminate them wide and near and far to all your friends and some of your enemies too, if you really love them. Here's a Reaver of Common Sense shirt, and sort of a generic SHR Media shirt if you just want a generic SHR Media shirt. Look, it changes At the move of a button, it changes from gray, white, gray, white. Okay, that's amazing. Enough of that. BZ, move on. I've got, excuse me, kind of a bizarre-mento show. I said that normally I start with, well, I also want to make sure that if you go into a chat room tonight, go into the plush, sumptuous, palatial, and resplendent chat room, which can only be found at the SHR Media YouTube channel. The SHR Media YouTube channel. By the way, the SHR Media YouTube channel, and that's where you can get into chat. It's a wonderful place to be. And also tonight's theme, the spice must flow. And anybody who's read science fiction knows upon which this is based, but it's a truism. Let me pull this off. I want to predicate what I'm about to say with, I don't have any interest in this in terms of money. I'm not making any money on this. I'm not pumping this. I'm not shilling this. I'm not making a dime off of this. I don't make a dime off the show. I don't make a dime off of SHR. I don't make a dime. But if you guys want to find out what in the hell is going on right now, I ordered and read this book, The Invisible Coup by Peter Schweitzer. It's astounding. There is not one element of this nation that isn't deleteriously affected by insane leftists who are here to strip you naked, steal everything from you, and if you're a white, replace you, or if you're an American black not in keeping with Democrats or leftists, oh, they're going to replace your beloved ass as well with illegal invaders. And when you get through tonight listening to this, is just a fraction of the amount of crap that you've seen, that you inherently know has been funded. The corruption is long, deep, wide. And also, before I go on, we're going to have a little bit of my Meme City mic drop to let everybody know that these are some of the things that we're going to be going over tonight. Again, that's the theme, and this is my dog. Now, Jake, little Jake update. I try to get new photos of Jake, and that's him eating. Jake doesn't eat on his own. Occasionally he will drink. We still have to give him plungers of water. He's on his way out, but stop. Wait. As far as we can tell now, we have not officially weighed him, but he weighs, we're going to guess, kind of judging. Whereas before he looked worse than a cow out of Dachau, or, the black hole of Calcutta, he's actually getting a little bit of weight back so that you cannot see every point and spike of his spine, the poor bastard. So he's starting to come around. Do we know why? We have no idea. We're just grateful as hell that he is still here with us. Let me look at the comments, and if I can, let me put them on so that people can see them in the stage. And welcome. Let's see. Who can I see already? I see the Phantom, SHR Media. That's me. O2AMT is in chat. SP Lewis is in chat. Mission Ready Men, Reaver of Common Sense. Who have I missed? Marco Rubio's jobs. Marco Rubio does everyone's job, for God's sake. And I'm sure, Ricky Robinson, please don't tax the Rick. He is in chat as well. Good to see everyone. Martin Banks. Yeah. Is that the way I'm supposed to pronounce it? Because when I see that here, let me put this. Let me see if I can put this up. Martin Banks. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to guess that that's the way that I'm supposed to pronounce it. Anyway, go get your own SHR Media swag. In terms of media assets that I want to show you, I do, in fact, have, I should say, I will be having a carousel of amusing GURP, but this time around, it's usually if I have something funny, I'll put it up front. I have maybe, I don't know, one thing, but then the rest of the things that I have are just weird and strange and packed with schadenfreude and hypocrisy and just a bunch of weird stuff like that. It's just, it all doesn't go in one spot. I mean, I always try to organize the show as best I can, but I just want to start this first.
Meme City Mic Drop, where only the finest hand-grown memes are carefully selected from the most expensive sarcasm seeds.
True.
Cultivated, nurtured, and harvested lovingly at the peak of their freshness, and bursting with meaning, flavor, rampant hypocrisy, and
Schadenfreude, baby.
always with your mind in mind.
And some of the stuff we're going to be talking about tonight will be the new mainstream media photos of Renee Good, Honda pilot driver, and Alex Preddy, gun leftist. Those just came out. Want to let everybody know about that. We're going to be talking about trannies tonight, and this is one of the finest, most recent photos of a decent tranny that I found, and that goes without saying. And in terms of Don Lemon, how he went into the church is how he would go into a bank, because primarily it's the same. And, if Trump is a Nazi and he happened to win the popular vote, and he won the Electoral College too, then most people believe Democrats are far worse than Nazis. Trump has a warning label for Canada. And this is Canada, that kind of a colony. And this is interesting. I might be going into this in a little bit more depth on Thursday's show. And we'll be going into voter ID. Who wants voter ID? Oh, nobody does, say the Democrats, except all the rest of the people in the United States. And 2030 looks like some people are going to lose a few things now and then. Then we're going to be talking about China in Reedley. We're going to be talking about China in Las Vegas. And we're going to be talking about a little bit of the GOP and some underminers. And we're going to be talking about Republicans, the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, and a few things like that there. So just want to let you know, yes, we're going to start first here with the carousel of amusing GURP. So let's patch this up on stage if we can, and put it up and play it, Jim. Play it. Go.
And now your presenter for the Hoax of the Year Award, Sydney Sweeney.
Tonight, we honor excellence in storytelling, not films, not novels, but the most convincing political hoax of the year. And the award for best failed hoax performance goes to...
Who? Banana Woman?
Ian Omar.
This is Omar's second award and counting, on her way to being the fake bitch in the United States.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Wow, I have no words. As an illegal immigrant who married my own brother, this award makes it all worth it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, that was the worst hoax I've ever seen. Somali scams don't work like they used to.
And just like Sally Field, she said, I see you finally love me. You love me. You really, really love me. So, courtesy of Ilhan Omar, queen of the setup. Oh, I do. I'm sorry. I have another thing. I saw this just before the start of the show. So I had to put this up for everybody. Okay. So kids are now, I had to look this up. I had to find out what Roblox is. I get it now. So this is the creativity of some kids. You gotta love this. So kids are now acting out ICE raids on Roblox. And it's being reported that poor little crying leftists are deleting the game at record speeds out of pure anger, because this proves, you know what? The kids are all right. And the WHO was right all along. The kids are all right. Remember, Roblox kids, always wear your finest sombrero and safety counts at all times. Here's another strange story. I don't customarily laugh a lot, and I didn't really laugh at this, but I thought it makes a great visual for people to see. So these are leftists in Minneapolis who have decided that when the ICE vehicle and the tires on the bus go round and round, and the ICE vehicle goes round and round, and the followers of the ICE must go round and round.
Rosie, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Ring around.
Come on, kids, sing along.
A pocket full of posies, ashes,
You're all kids anyway.
We all fall down. Around a rosy, a pocket full.
Okay, Jim. Okay. Jim, Jermaine, hang on to that car. Don't let it go. It could turn right at any time. Roger, copy. Don't lose that car. That's an ICE car. I'm telling you right now. Copy. That's exactly what occurred on their radios. I know exactly what had happened. And as I say, there are some strange aspects to the carousel of amusing GURP. And normally I would put a lot of fun things in there because I've got so much other stuff to talk about in terms of the spice. The spice apps, it is mandated to flow. I thought, okay, the rest of this stuff, there isn't enough of it to put in one particular category for tonight. So I thought, okay, I just start with it. I'm going to begin with this, and starting with this because the show is assembled in a way so that I try to make it flow with topics, etc. And you may have already heard this. I believe I said something or perhaps even addressed this on the last Saturday show. So let's play this for a moment.
Has just had his nursing license removed in the state of Florida for stating that he will not treat MAGA patients. He was also falsely claiming to be a nurse anesthetist and saying that he wouldn't provide anesthesia services to MAGA patients. So this person is just obviously something is wrong with this person, delusional person who should probably have had their nursing license revoked.
Okay, stop it. They did. And that guy's name was the crazy nurse anesthetist who apparently wasn't such. Hey, what a shock to think that leftists would lie. They don't do that. But I played this because there's a little bit more to come. There's a bit of a follow-up. It's this guy, thing, tranny, weird-ass, leftist unit. I don't even know where the hell to start this. All I said was, hey, Justice Department, when I play this, I sent it, by the way, to the Justice Department because hashtag, why not? That's fun. Remember, in a hashtag, no spaces. And this is Chad Malinowski going on for a minute. Chad, take it away.
Remember how much power nurses have in this country?
I remember how much power nurses have in this country.
One of our own was just murdered in the street.
Yeah, you mean Honda Pilot driver who tried to mow down an ICE agent. Go on. But see how I want to point this out to everybody. See, this is me, BZ, giving time to leftists. So you think I'm all one-sided. I'm not. I want to see both sides of the picture. This is a great side to see.
So we might be able to stop this somehow.
Sure.
Thoughts?
Good morning. Did you know most ICE agents don't wear their plates properly? I've seen it.
You know, as the type of ICU nurse I was cardiac ICU nurse. And I did a lot of time, lots of hours holding on a groin that wouldn't stop bleeding. Let me tell you what, that femoral artery, those veins in the legs.
That mouth, that open oval mouth, was made for something, folks. What do you think it was made for? Anyway, I'm not going to play the rest of this because you know exactly where it is that I'm going. It's not like you can't see that. Anybody with eyes and a mouth can see that as well. Also, while we're talking about leftists and insane little crazy leftist chicks, I come across stuff like this that the American media maggots definitely will refuse to show you. But I bring it to you because those young kids are so smart. They're so clever. They're so well educated. They're so far morally superior to anybody right now. They're more educated than anybody from the 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or 70s would be. Right?
Are you pro women's rights?
Of course.
Being pro women's rights, who do you think is more for women's rights? The Trump administration or the Iranian regime?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry. When I first heard that noise, no, I'm not sorry. It killed me and I laughed.
Don't really know anything about the Iranian regime, but I'm against Trump, so I guess I'll go Iranian regime. It's between the two.
What rights do we not have here as women?
Well,
sparks, gears grinding to a
I don't
halt.
want to be in this anymore.
If you had to pick.
If I had to pick, like, gun to my head, shoot me, like, I don't.
Iran?
Yeah.
Iran is in the Middle East.
That's the, yeah. Well, probably not the Trump.
Bruh.
Okay, if I had to pick, probably Iranian militarization. Like, Trump is just evil in so many ways, yeah.
Okay, so do you think the Iranian regime is more pro women's rights?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure is. And that's how you know that
pro-women's rights?
leftists,
Of
women,
course.
Being pro women's
the
rights.
leftists' women's are highly intelligent units, kicked and produced out of some of the finest universities the United States of America have to offer. And also out of some of the finest medical schools and hospitals with some of the finest doctors, surgeons, nurses, anesthetists, etc. What the fuck is this? This is the result, as I consistently say, of the mental, chemical, and physical butchery of children. This you will see, and I will embiggen it in just a moment. This is the revision surgery of a girl to a guy because she has willingly cut off her tits and her nipple. Okay, and you haven't seen this yet. So they're doing this to 15-year-old girls, doctors. They butchered her. It's a bot. This is something that when she comes to her senses, they'll bring to the show Botched in Southern California, where the FACS doctors will do something to help her because this is beyond pathetic. This is beyond disgusting. I don't have to say things for these people, these bizarre ass tranny units who were convinced, I'm sure, by psychiatrists and their parents and beaten by their peers to do crazy ass shit like this, and they will regret it when they actually grow up or they lose their mental defective order.
So I wanted to update on my top surgery. I got revisions done in December, just last month, and it is so much better than it was.
Okay, I've embiggened it. This is so much better. But you can see all the bizarre affectations that have already been thrown into the brain housing group of this crazy ass victim. Now, this is taking someone who already has serious mental health problems, and it's only going to make them worse. Now, we're going to take a break. The dog that I have down here under the studio needs to go outside and is telling me so. So I'm going to take a break, and we'll be right back after this.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
In a world where leftists are running out of metal for the safety pins of their soothing red diapers, one man stands alone, attempting to fundamentally change America, one leftist diaper at a time. BZ, your conservative Sherpa, is guiding you through the maelstrom of Democrat leftists and globalist lies, chaos, deceit, and betrayal. Listen to BZ Saloon on select and exclusive Tuesday and Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, and 11 p.m. Eastern on the SHR Media YouTube channel, Twitch, KLRN, Rumble, and X at BZ Saloon. It's one great late-night Conservatarian talk radio show. Be there. Aloha.
Hello, friends. You have a moment so that we may discuss our Lord and Savior Minarchy? No, seriously, I'm just kidding. Hi, my name is Rick Robinson. I am the general manager of KLRNradio.com. We are probably the largest independent podcast network that you've never heard of. We have a little bit of everything, and by that, what I mean to tell you is we have news, pop culture, special events, conspiratainment, true crime, mental health shows, drama productions, and pretty much everything in between. So if you're looking for a new podcast home to grab a little bit of everything that you love all in one place, come check us out. You can find us on X under @KLRNradio. You can find us on our Rumble and our YouTube channels under the same names. You can also find us at KLRNradio.com and pretty much every podcast catcher known to man. So again, feel free to come check us out anytime you like at KLRN Radio.
It's Sean from the Edge of Liberty. Just like the Bidens, I too am moving. Only in my case, it's days and times. That's right, you can now find the Edge of Liberty Monday at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific on 11 Eastern on the SHR Media Network. Join me as we talk politics, news, alcohol, fun, not so much fun, clowns, small kittens, large kittens, dogs, amoebas, and anything else that just pops into my mind while I'm on the air. That is Monday and Wednesday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 on the East Coast, on YouTube, X, KLRN Radio, Facebook, Twitch, and anywhere else a good podcast is found. Please check out our website, shrmedia.com. I will see you live on the air.
Attention, all patriotic women of faith. Yep, I'm talking to you, sis. Are you looking for high-quality, super soft apparel that reflects your love for country and your devotion to God? Look no further than Carry Girl Gear. Picture this. You rocking a tee so soft it's like being hugged by a cloud, all while showing off your love for God and country. Sounds dreamy, right? Well, welcome to reality, babes, because that's what we're all about here at Carry Girl Gear. We specialize in super soft tees, tanks, and more, designed specifically for the strong, patriotic woman who proudly wants to carry their message of faith and freedom. When you shop with us, you're not just getting a t-shirt. You're joining a community of like-minded women who are proud to wear their beliefs straight on their tees. So whether you're sipping sweet tea on the porch or leading the charge for faith and freedom, do it in a Carry Girl tee. Because life's too short for stiff, boring tees. CarryGirl.com, where faith and freedom meets fashion.
Independence. With that declaration, America was born. Inspired by a belief in the God-given rights of every human being, and in the good that comes from exercising these rights well. The founders of our great nation chose independence. As do we. Hillsdale College accepts no government funding because independence makes possible the good to which we aspire.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
First half hour down, I am the aforementioned BZ of BZ's Berserk, Bobcat, Saloon radio show. Live and direct right here on the SHR Media Network, and also being simulcast erasted, past tense plural, the subjunctive, class 4, paragraph 2, see page 60, parenthesis, point 5, section 2, end of parenthesis, and thanks to KLRN for simulcasting us in a simulcastilicious sort of way. That's SIMULCASTILICIOUS way. The 3 is silent on that. Please remember, spell properly, kids. Spelling matters. All lives matter. Everything matters. Protons matter. That's just a scientific thing from me to you. Let's put this back up here. I told you that, let me start this again.
Was before. Like all that extra fat and extra skin that was there before.
Okay, butchered.
Is all gone.
Okay, I want you to look like I said prior to the break. Look at the affectations here. Lots of tattoos, fingernails painted, a nice chain around the neck with a lock. I guess that's in case it leaves its bicycle somewhere, or maybe it's tricycle. I'm not sure. Or maybe it's radio flyer. You'll have to look up in your Funkin' Wagnalls to try to figure that one up. It has a wonderful cow ring in its nose and lots of piercings in its lips. So what this tells you, this unit is screaming, I'm already mentally fucked up. So because of that, people thought that it would be better to buy into my mental defectiveness, my fuck-uppedness, and let me butcher myself. And the surgeons were happy to comply because it made additional hundreds of thousands of dollars for the hospital organization through which this surgery occurred, the hospital in which it occurred, the doctors who performed it, the anesthetists, and the nurses, who were all complicit in buying off on this mental mutant's fetish. And here are the results, because who in the world, especially if you're going to a guy, because guys, come on, nobody needs nipples. Guys don't have nipples. What was that Robert De Niro said in the movie? Do you have nipples, Greg?
The scarring.
This Greg doesn't have a nipple. This Greg is missing at least one nipple that I can see.
It's still pretty bad, but that's just how our body works. We scar pretty bad. I still only have one nipple, but I'm going to get medical tattooing so that it looks like I have a nipple, and then they'll put filler in it so it's kind of raised like this one is. I just need...
I'm playing this for you so that you can understand the people that advocate for this stuff. You inherently intuit, because you're a normal human being, that other normal human beings, A, don't do this to themselves, and B, their parents don't advocate such, C, their parents don't push this, and D, what hospital, set of doctors, or organization or medical organization would push someone who is screaming to you, I need mental help. And then you're going to buy into that unit's fetish. There's only one reason. It makes money. First, it puts the lotion in the basket, and then it makes money. But you need to see, to understand the depraved state of leftists and Democrats in this nation right now, and most people wouldn't show you this. But you need to understand the point at which this doesn't stop. And this is all because of what? It's because the spice must flow, including this is a leftist white chick, a leftist senator in Nebraska. Now, I advise you, caution, turn down the volume.
Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people. We love trans people. Trans people belong here. We need trans people.
turning it down because I'm hoping that she'll hyperventilate and just pass out.
We love trans people. You matter. You matter. And I am fighting for you.
See, it's insane leftist white chicks like this that, number one, well, they're fucking insane. And number two, I can't listen to their voices anymore. You know, bints like this have voices that shatter glass. But I illustrate it to you that they're just nuts. But wait, if you think that, I've exhausted my supply of nuts, well, no. There's someone right here called Katina, Kateina, Katina DeVille. I wonder if she got that from a Disney movie. Look at her hair. Pretending to be a woman running for Congress in Wisconsin. Now, this is a guy. The guy wants kids, like the other one, to chop off their body parts. I need to be a peg leg. I need to pretend I went through the fan of a 747 back in 2022. Take it away, Junior.
Hey, people. All right. This is going out there for all.
Hey, people. All right.
All of my Wisconsin people in the 8th Congressional District. Yeah. I'm Katrina DeVille. It's Tuesday. What do we got? It's about 20 after 4 in the PM. So if you don't know yet, I'm having my very first town hall tonight for Outagamie County. I'll be going around the district during my...
And I can't leave her alone because I wanted to name myself Cruella, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
It's like, folks, I tell you every show. I don't have to make this stuff up. All I do is reach out to the internet and find stupid shit like this that the American media maggots will not show you, that the American media maggots refuse to show you. And that's why I said, I think you need to. People need to see this. And, and then for lack of a better place to put this stuff in the show, here's another story that I found out. I was listening. I don't even remember where the hell I was listening to this. But this happens to come from the New York Times, of all places. And I know you can't see the top of the headline because it's all whited out from the photo and whatnot, but I'll read it to you anyway. And you sure as hell can't see it in portrait. But the headline goes, "Freedom with a Side of Guilt, How Food Delivery is Reshaping Mealtime." There are people through all sorts of various leftist urban rat cages and similar locales who are spending between $700 a week and over $1,000 a month to have food delivered. And as it turns out, the food is, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 blocks away, and the poor babies don't feel like walking because my feet hurt, because I've been working a long 7-hour day slaving away in a room that's air conditioned in the summer or heated in the winter. You can't make this stuff up. It's like, I heard this and I first thought, am I going to get outraged or excited about this? Nah, not really. Because young little punks, do I really give a shit if you spend $700 a week on your food? No, because who wouldn't want the worst, tepid, soiled, soggy, dropped, perchance spit in food delivered late at a massively overinflated price right to your door? I mean, phooey, shoot, it doesn't get any better than that. I didn't know where else to put that. Then there's this as well. Okay. Now, this is the only time you will ever hear me tonight refer to the Grammys. Because predominantly I don't give a shit what they think. They're all idiots. They're all overpriced, overweened idiots. Except I will make an exception for this. Now, who was it? I don't even know who she is, and I don't care. She looks like a tranny version of Pugsley. What the hell was her name? Something Eilish. Billie Eilish. Billie Eyelash. Does she have eyelashes? Is she really a she? Do we know for sure or do we care? But apparently she said, you people have houses on stolen Indian land and you should all recognize it and your hearts should go all thumping pitter patter, except your fucking mansion, your $14 million mansion in Los Angeles is apparently on stolen land. Billie Eilish. 3 words to you. Give it back. But you won't, will you? You're just another little mush-brained leftist hypocrite. So the people, the indigenous people on whose land her mansion sits, the Tongva tribe, came out and made a statement.
Daily Mail reports Eilish's multi-million-dollar home is located on tribal lands. The Tongva Nation says they've inhabited a 4,000 square mile region now known as the Greater Los Angeles area. A spokesperson for the tribe tells the Daily Mail, "We do understand that her home is situated in our ancestral land."
Ours. Okay, well, she said to the Grammy, you shouldn't have homes on tribal ancestry land.
Eilish has not contacted our tribe directly regarding her property. We do value the instance when public figures provide visibility to the true history of this country. Comedian Ricky Gervais is posting a quote he made in 2020 when he
Stop with this nonsense, BZ. I love it when Ricky Gervais roasted the ever-loving dog snot. And dog snot is hard to get out, unless your dog has a cold. He roasted the crap, or dog crap, or cat crap, whatever you choose. Be weird, be wild, be free. Out of the people at the Oscars. That was the best Oscar night.
hosted the Golden Globes. He said at the time, if you do win an award tonight, don't use it as a platform to make a political speech. You're in no position to lecture the public about anything. You know nothing about the world. Most of you spent less time in school than Greta Thunberg.
Okay, stop. Mikhail, stop. Nailed it. Ricky Gervais. Out of the
Gervais
park,
making
mister.
another post yesterday saying
They're still not listening. No, of course not. Why would they? They are challenged. They're stressed. They make millions. Weird. Oh, here's something else that's weird that I didn't know where the hell to put this. But I have to say that Christopher Nolan, as far as I'm concerned, has done some very interesting movies. One of his that I enjoyed was Interstellar. Had some very interesting themes and concepts in it. However, in this regard, Christopher Nolan has decided that Helen of Troy, in Christopher Nolan's adaptation of the Odyssey from Homer, that Helen of Troy is going to be a black chick. And that's when I said, okay, all right, I'll buy that. You want to do that? That's your being an artiste, if you wish. But only if I have the equal ability to designate, I don't know, who shall I pick? Robert De Niro as Rosa Parks, sitting in the back of the bus. So if Helen of Troy is okay for Lupita, whatever the hell, then why wouldn't Robert De Niro be just A-okay as Rosa Parks? It's all equal, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? Well, absolutely not. And then again, this is another thing where I didn't know Valley Girl Muzzies existed, but apparently Valley Girl Muzzies existed. And as I'm not going to get to this already, it's 10 minutes to 9 o'clock and I haven't hit a fraction of the stories I want to do tonight, but that's why you come here. That's why I'm your fuzzy, huggy, lovable kind of dude with a hat and a big missing patch of beard out of the side of my face. out of my gazette. And so, did you know that muzzies they were issued in Valley Girl? I did not know this. Go.
So I'm Somali. I'm proud to be Somali. To me, being Somali isn't just eating bananas with rice.
No.
It's a lot. It's like it's
Do you see the dude in the glasses in the background? You think he's a little uncomfortable? Watch his face. I love it. Oh, the black dude on our right looks down and he's probably thinking, God, why do I have to be here?
it's an interesting thing. It's very hard to describe what it means to be Somali and what it means to be American, but it's like a cultural fusion. It's kind of like the bananas and rice. You know, people don't really see people don't think, oh, you can eat bananas with rice, but that's what it's like to be Somali and American. It's like that combination of banana and rice, but you're gonna get what I mean.
I get what you mean. If something happened to you, if you fell down some stairs, I don't know. Is this what we expect out of Somali muzzies? Did you get hit in the head? I don't know. I don't know. But I had no place other than that to put that. And with one actual story that is beginning to unfold, and I have to tell you at this point, I'm not exactly sure what to make of it. Let me just play this and you guys weigh in on what you think of this.
Details we're following tonight of the case of Today anchor Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. The Pima County, Arizona Sheriff's Office now believes Nancy Guthrie was kidnapped over the weekend.
But that's not all. Mark Cota-Robles is live in our newsroom with an update. Mark.
Yeah, Javon.
Okay, I heard this and my first thought was, what the hell? My second thought was, okay, well, this is Arizona, just a hop, skip, and a jump from the Mexican border. Is this the work of cartels?
Anna and David, a very concerning update here. The Pima County Sheriff's Department said it is reviewing possible ransom notes related to Nancy Guthrie's disappearance. Our ABC affiliate in Tucson received one of those letters. TMZ got another. Officials say that they are investigating if any of these letters are legitimate. The ABC station in Tucson says the ransom note they received makes a specific demand for several $1 million in Bitcoin.
Okay, Bitcoin. Now, to me, that says, okay, probably not cartels in Mexico, but it lends itself to another BZ if-then equation. Okay. If it's cartels, then why would they want Bitcoin? And then if it was cartels and they wanted Bitcoin, then why did they select her? What was it? Common knowledge, the likes of which I haven't yet heard, that she was rather wealthy, that her daughter is rather wealthy. It's just a lot of this stuff isn't making sense, and I'm going to be really curious to see where it goes.
Form of cryptocurrency by Thursday, and threatens to kill her if payment is not received by Monday.
This is just a bizarre, you could tell earlier, what was this? This is 2 days old now, I think. 2 days, 3 days, something like that. And the sheriff at the beginning, when I was listening to the press conference, was hedging bets quite a bit. And I thought, my thoughts went the gamut from, okay, this is an insider job from somebody somewhere, I don't know, maid, servant, someone on the inside, friend, enemy, cartel. It's just a weird confluence of dovetailing of bizarre little circumstances where I'm thinking, God dang, I don't see where this is going right now. And these days also, you have to say, you cannot always automatically assume that this is going to pan out in some fashion. Because when I come back, we're going to talk about some similarities in a really bizarre fashion that, when examined, isn't really that bizarre because we are that stupid as a country. But we're beginning, actually, I believe, to make a semblance of an understanding as to how this is coming and an observation or two. beyond that, one of the situations that I'm going to mention stems from Las Vegas. By the way, did you guys see my shirt? Remember, no airbags. We die like real men. But Las Vegas just has this bizarre little locus of odd-oidishness. Anybody remember Stephen Paddock? I sure as hell do. What was that? 2018, 2017, 2018, 2019, where we had no real current reason, specific reason. I mean, the theories ran the gamut. And the theories, oh, for God's sake, the theories run the gamut on this guy too. And we'll get to this. Well, maybe we'll get to this, I hope, a little bit later, where all the leftists are saying, Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. It's like a dog going, Ira, Epstein, Epstein, Epstein. Except it's not coming back to be so kind. Now, first people were saying the FBI wouldn't let the Epstein list come out because a lot of people believe Epstein was acting as a cutout for the CIA, attempting to blackmail all the people that were there for whatever reasons. Now, the other thing that's funny is that people are also submitting and surmising that, okay, well, it wasn't just the CIA that was doing this, that Epstein, and I don't think this is how bizarre shit is in the 2000s. Epstein could have been working for the CIA and making, where did he make so much money? Epstein could have been working for the CIA. Epstein could have been working for the Ruskies. Epstein could have been working for the Chinese and working off all of them all. So if he was about to spill, who would have an interest in offing the dude? Let me see. Let's start with the big three. CIA, maybe the NSA, China, as Trump says, China, and Russia. I guess that's the big four. So it's just weird. The other stuff coming up, like I say, linkage to Las Vegas, linkage to Kalifailure, Stephen Paddock. Bizarre shit just happens. This is weird, strange vortex of odd dimensions. I truly do think that we shan't discover ever as to the true nature of what happened with Stephen Paddock. Absent, somebody could say, well, he had these big duffel bags one day, and it had never been done before in Las Vegas, and he wasn't doing anything with these duffel bags one day. So why not throw them in his car, take a trip to whatever the hell it was, the Luxor, someplace. I don't remember the name of the motel. Knock out a window and take all of these guns out and just spray and pray. Weren't something like, if I'm remembering correctly, 200 people, maybe 250 people killed? Maybe he was just having a bad day. Maybe he just got his tax bill. Maybe, baby. Who knows? Will we ever know? I'm not sure. But the next big item up for bid, when I get to it, involving Las Vegas, it is like, yeah, exactly what I think happened is happening and will continue to happen because we've been found to be, as a nation, absolute damn idiots.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Mission log entry. I mean, let's face it, who's even counting anymore? The Lost Wanderer is officially off course, chasing rogue rocket launches, fringe science, and things that probably violate causality. If it burns fuel, bends time, or makes scientists very uncomfortable, yeah, I'm probably going to talk about it. Every other Sunday on KLRN Radio, The Lost Wanderer, because space doesn't come with a roadmap, and honestly, I wouldn't follow if it did.
Hello, I'm Matt, a student at Hillsdale College. Here's Hillsdale President Larry Arnn on the continuing relevance of the Constitution.
Many argue today that the Constitution is outdated because it addresses problems peculiar to the 18th century. Some parts of the Constitution do read rather quaintly. Consider the injunction against titles of nobility in Article 1, Section 9 of the Constitution. But is that so outdated? The purpose of the injunction is to prevent the government granting special privileges to some for partisan reasons. This strikes at the heart of the rule of law. The crony capitalism so common today is a place where the government bestows favors and tax dollars on some businesses to give them a leg up over others. This is exactly the kind of thing the Constitution was meant to prohibit. The Constitution is not so outdated after all.
This Constitution Minute was brought to you by Hillsdale College. To join the national conversation on the Constitution, go to constitutionminute.com.
Hey fellas, are you mission ready? You need to check out Mission Ready Men via Earl Big E Jackson on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. It's a show that equips you to navigate our society's challenges from a biblical perspective with courage and conviction. Tune into Mission Ready Men as we examine our culture through the prism of biblical truths, teachings, and how to apply them in our daily lives. Prepare to step up, stand out, and step into your role as a man as ordained by God. That's Mission Ready Men, hosted by Earl Jackson on the SHR Media Network. And get mission ready.
Want to make an immediate difference in the life of a critically ill child? You have the ability to do that right now. Make a donation to Dream Makers for Life, the organization that restores dreams to seriously ill children and their families. You can sponsor a dream pack for a child, which contains a clear PVC backpack, a dry erase board adventure coloring book, a journal, and dry erase markers to inspire a critically ill child to envision a future adventure and hope. Want to become a dream maker for life yourself? Go to dreamforlife.org. That's dreamforlife.org. Help a child. Help a family. There is always hope.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
We're back. It's the second hour. It's 9:03 p.m. Pacific, which means it's 11:03 Central and midnight 03 Eastern, and it means that it's 1749.723 in Bolivian time, but I never could quite understand Bolivian time because, quite frankly, who does? I certainly do not. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing. I haven't looked, but the last that I saw was that we were up to 943 YouTube subscribers as of today, just before I went on the air. We are 57 subscribers away from our 1,000 goal. And I believe that we're going to hit this in early to mid-February. See what I did there? I kept it in check. And so thanks for being here. Thanks for being in chat. There isn't much going on in chat. Don't quite know why. You're always invited to chat. You can yell at me, scream at me. Please yell and scream. People have insulted me. I have to say those are poor insults. Very, very poor. I've been shot at and insulted by professionals, and you guys are lame. I expected better out of you. Jeez. So anyway, before the break, I said, hey, there seems to be a similarity that's emerging and some really strange stuff coming out of Las Vegas. And I believe that it involved, I think it's obvious that it involved the Chinese. And there's a connection between Las Vegas and a biolab. And a biolab discovered 2 years ago in Reedley, Kalifailure, which is not that far from, will Reedley be close to? Maybe Fresno, maybe Clovis, right around in there. It's sort of the mid-bread belt of the upper San Joaquin Valley, I believe. Doesn't go down. It's not the Sacramento Valley at that, but in any event, it was done by the Chinese. And the reason that I believe that the Chinese are responsible, for Wuhan 19, as a matter of fact, because hashtag it's really damn obvious. So what happened is the Chinese watched as we failed, the United States of America under Biden, we failed to act when they sent over this long, languid, school bus sized weather balloon over the United States, starting in Alaska, going through Canada and down into the United Snakes. And they sent, it turns out it was a surveillance balloon over the U.S. for a week in 2023. And we went, what do we do? It's Chinese surveillance balloon. And if we didn't know that, hello, morons. Well, we know that. But we were afraid. We were afeared. We were all a quiver to act. Oh, no. What if we shut it down? What if it contains a deadly virus? A biolab virus. Bizarre. Then the Chinese watched as we failed to act when they sent a shit ton of drones from a ship they knew was off the eastern seaboard towards the mid-eastern seaboard and then up to the northeast. They sent drones over that area for over a month in 2024. And we reacted like, what are we going to do? This is drones. And can we shoot them down? Do we have a protocol for that? No, we don't really have a protocol. Our AYFKM. Are you fucking kidding? We don't have a protocol for shooting down drones. Well, somebody might get bad. Somebody might get angry if we shoot down drones. Okay, so then why, if they did those tests, they gave us those tests, and we failed terribly at those tests, why wouldn't they go out of their way to create illegal clandestine biolabs on United States soil in order to more readily unleash various pathogens on unsuspecting U.S. citizens? Because before, on two massive prior occasions, we pretty much didn't do a damn thing. We're so, I'm so confused. I'm just so confused. I didn't know. Of course they would do that. But still and all, people don't realize, wait a minute. China is our enemy. Hello, China is our enemy.
Local and federal officials in Nevada confirm a connection between a suspected biological lab found in a Las Vegas home and the illegal Reedley facility discovered by a code enforcement officer in December of 2022. That lab was suspected of receiving money from...
Okay, stop. This is what made the difference. A code enforcement officer for the county of Fresno was looking around various warehouses and said, who knows what the hell they were there for? Enforcement of codes. What codes? Who knows? There was a hose connected to here. And the person thought, well, that's weird. That doesn't compute. I haven't seen that before. Maybe I should investigate this because it's my job, code enforcement. And could there be a code being broken inside this big ass warehouse? If that person, whoever they were, hadn't done that, hadn't actually done their government job, we wouldn't know.
Chinese banks and housing thousands of samples of potentially harmful pathogens. Action News reporter Vincent Camarillo joins us now from the live desk with the latest on this stunning new development. Vincent?
Margot, just yesterday, our cameras captured local and federal officials pulling evidence from the building that once housed that illegal operation. Investigators now saying the homes in Las Vegas held concerning similarities to that in Reedley. Meanwhile, state lawmakers are calling for changes they say should have been made years ago.
So, okay, in Las Vegas, you're not going to the casinos because there aren't any buffets anymore worth a shit. The rooms are overpriced. The food is overpriced. The entertainment isn't all that good. There's nobody in the casinos. Folks aren't making bank. And Las Vegas, people are thinking, well, I'm not having a good time. I'm not making a lot of money. There aren't people coming to Las Vegas. So if my job is dependent upon tourists, and then on top of that, I'm in a residential area where it's discovered that right next door is some Chinese biolab, I think I would consider getting my Mark I Model 1 wide ass out of Las Vegas, because this is just too much of an alternative dimension for me to conjure. And Americans are going, well, I wonder if there's any connection with any of this stuff. Well, the FBI executed a search warrant at the biolab in Reedley. So the weird thing is, Tuesday, today, February 3rd, they went back at the closed biological lab in Reedley. I'm sorry, they went back on February 1st on Sunday to take samples and find out if anything is congruent with the toxic, pathogenic shit they happen to find in the house in Las Vegas. Are there any similarities? That's what a good law enforcement agency would do. Go back and backtrack. Now, city manager Nicole Ziba knew that the FBI was there, but they weren't told what the FBI was searching for. There's a search warrant, they said. The city of Reedley isn't privy to what's in that search warrant and what they're looking for, nor should you be. But you tell me that there isn't some linkage to that, and the obvious noise is why, yes, there would be. Now, the American media maggots are couching it as possible Las Vegas biological lab may be linked to illegal medical lab in California by the Chinese, who were linked to that lab in Reedley and were linked to that home as well. But, we can't draw any hasty conclusions. Did anyone, by the way, let me just throw this out into the ozone. Anybody remember that in that lab in Reedley near Fresno, there was, let's see, COVID and flu, and there was Marburg. There were Marburg samples, and there was Ebola in there. Because everyone knows that there's a cure for Ebola, right? No, you just bleed out your ass, your mouth, and your eyes and your ears. Ebola might be a little, I don't know, a touch bad. Maybe just a bit bad. So the Chinese, they wouldn't have anything to do with this. And we still have, I'll go into this on Thursday night, we still have people in positions of power, politicians in government, who are linked up to the Chinese. And I can tell you for certain, I'll be telling you this on Thursday. Anyone, I don't care who you are, on which side of the aisle, Cocaine Mitch, his wife, Di-Fi, anybody else, Tampon Tim the retard. If you're hooked and linked up to China, China is a communist nation. They are our enemy. And you, whoever you are bought and paid for. You are on the take. You are corrupt. They have their hooks in you in some fashion. Or you just said, screw it. I don't care for my country anymore. Send me the money. And so that's what you do. You just go for the money. Hey, look. Isn't that kind of an interesting time for me to go back to? This is the theme tonight. The spice must flow. The spice is the money. By the way, did you see the guy over the sand dunes carrying 2 huge buckets of cash? That is the spice that must be flowing. So all the money and the influence and the corruption and the peddling that's going on is to make sure that the spice continues to flow. For one side of the aisle predominantly, but perhaps for the other side of the aisle, the opposite side of the aisle as well. You can't tell me that there aren't Republicans that are on the take and have been on the take from the cartels in Mexico, because up to Trump 47 getting here and cutting off the border, they never saw a border bill that would shut it down that they liked. Democrats and Republicans. Because Democrats and Republicans, mostly, this is who they are. I showed you this before. They're out for each other. And to see how much money they can take, they can squander, they can piss away. There frequently isn't a dime's worth of difference between the two. And all you leftists love them, and all you conservatives love them. I may get to that point tonight. But we will go into the money with all this crap going on, and we're discovering that it's exploded. I don't think there's a state in which that isn't affected, that Peter Schweitzer in his book, The Invisible Coup, didn't already write about. God, how I would love to get him on the show. But because he just has a book out, he's damn near unbookable. I'd love to be able to get through, but the spice must flow. The spice must flow everywhere to everyone on both sides of the aisle. And it's like this as well. Okay, so this reporter, it's about a minute, spent 5 days on the ground at a bunch of ICE protests and discovered, that they're organized and they're paid. Well, they're organized in Signal. They're organized on the radio. They know how to drive in circles. I proved that the first hour. That was funny, you have to admit. And that they do shifts. So protesters will come back and say, I finished up my shift.
I was on the ground for 5 days. And one thing I did start to notice, they do this in shifts. And I kept hearing this. The first morning that I was there, a woman said, hey guys, we're moving out to the neighborhoods. We hit our goal time. What do you mean goal time? And then another time I heard someone say, oh, I did my shift.
When I hear the word shift, my employment alarm bells go off. Do you think that these people are being paid?
I mean, you kind of start to think so, because when it's 2 p.m. on a Friday, how are you guys out here? I was seeing like working age people out there, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And then I've talked to protesters who talk about how expensive it is. And then you see the free snacks and then all the effort that goes into it. And you just start asking questions. Are you guys taking PTO to get out there and do this for 5 days?
Okay, stop. Mikhail, stop. PTO, for those of you who don't know. What is PTO? Well, first you have to have a job, so that eliminates leftists, because none of you fucksticks have jobs. But PTO is personal time off if you have a job. So are these people who may have another job taking personal time off in order to get paid by Soros, Act Blue, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? And the answer is, well, I sure believe so. Because if you're taking shifts and you're working against, well, nice, then you're getting paid. You getting paid, Bunky. Well, let's examine that, shall we? Let's examine and explore this issue about being paid. Being paid by who? Well, I would submit that it's Georgie, and it's by Neville Chamberlain, the Quisling, the capitulist. No, Neville Singham. He's Indian, he's American, but he hates America. So this is from Eric Doherty, if I'm not mistaken. Let's play this. About a minute.
If you've ever wondered how protests happen on the spot, this is exactly how. Without organizers, without the music, without the bullhorns, without all of these people coming together. And right now what they're doing is they're loading their trucks to leave out of here after they finish with the protest. None of the protests that you see that happen immediately after something happens, which is all the time now, wouldn't be possible. What's behind me is a combination of Party for Socialism and Liberation. We have Democrat Socialists of America here as well, and a couple very loose communist organizations like Revolutionary Communists for America.
Wait a minute. Communists aligned with leftists? I swoon at the thought.
None of the protests that you see are organic. They're well organized, and because they're well organized, that means they're well funded. To various campaigns, whether it's foreign influence campaigns or it could be even Democrat campaigns. So this is how it all happens.
And I'm going to point out these things to you. I'm going to show you a little bit of where this comes from, how it gets there, and what is done with it. By the way, here's a story. This is from a guy named James Howard Kunstler. And he's on, shoot, what is it? I can't think of that. Anyway, Slipstream. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Substack. Thank you. I got the S right. Okay. Can I at least get credit for the S? Thank you. Had enough. Minnesota Democrats hate ICE because they're deporting their voters. Gunther Eagleman on X. Listen to this. I'll say it again because this is the truism of it all. Minnesota Democrats hate ICE because they're deporting their voters. Duh. Okay. So it's well understood, says Kunstler, that these ICE out riots are organized and funded by a network created by Neville Roy Singham, born in 1954. 4 years younger than me, but he's now based in Shanghai, China. Weird with the beard. And he funds the Party for Socialism and Liberation, the People's Forum, Code Pink, the United Community Fund, and a whole bunch of other laundry areas that supply all the money for lefty mobs going back to George Floyd and the BLM riots of 2020. So these guys are billionaires. George Soros, basically, if you recall, back in the 90s, George Soros crashed the entire Bank of England in the UK and made, it's a visual, billions and billions of dollars off of that. That's where George Soros got the bulk of his cash. And then also this, for those, this also goes into Neville Roy Singham. These things can all be found and read at your leisure on the Rumble side of BZ's Saloon. Go to rumble.com, look for BZ Saloon, and in there you'll find all the show links to the videos and the articles that I push up here because they're so easily found. Not by American media maggots, of course, because they don't want to. I don't want to, as they kick their little feet. Kick. I don't want to find this stuff. So he's, like this article said, he is a China-based millionaire bankrolling Minnesota agitators. Well, actually, they say he's a millionaire, but now information indicates that, well, he's a billionaire. So he funds a host. This is the guy right there in the red. In the red, isn't that weird? He's a Chinese Communist Party advocate who's been traced to a whole bunch of dark money organizations fueling the far left because he hates this country as well. So, it's like, well, why wouldn't he live in China? Because for a factorious, the Chinese love the hell out of him. So again, this all links back to big bucks, big organization, big money.
This other protester we secretly recorded talks about an organization called Make the Road New York. We've never heard of this organization, but apparently they have a budget of $30 million.
This is James O'Keefe, by the way.
I mean, if you're interested in the immigrants' rights organization, you should look up Make the Road New York.
Make the Road New York.
Make the Road.
But who are you with?
I'm just with the union.
Oh.
Yeah. SEIU, Service Employees.
Okay, SEIU, however, being associated, of course, with the Communist Chinese as well. And the Socialist Party, hashtag, why not? Go.
We looked at the tax returns of Make the Road New York and found they're a registered 501c3 that file a 990, and they received $16 million in grants. We are in the wrong business, everyone. Can you?
Where do you think these grants come from? You and me and all your hard-earned American taxpayer dollars.
Imagine what Nick Shirley could do with $16 million. Can you imagine what James O'Keefe could do with $16 million? The United States government is funding this. We're 36 trillion in debt, or are we 36 trillion in fraud?
Stop right there. And that's why I played that cut. We're 36 trillion. Shit, this would have been a perfect time to put up the U.S. debt clock. Maybe after the break. We're $36 trillion in debt. Do you possibly, can you remotely even posit that one of the primary reasons why we are so in debt, trillions, is because of all of that crap right there? And I'd have to say yes. And who says these people aren't organized? Extremely well. By the way, did you ever see this website? Kind of hard to see in portrait, maybe a little hard to see in landscape if you're on Rumble. Thanks for everybody being there in YouTube on the SHR Media YouTube channel. Appreciate it. This will be up in show links. Stop ICE Raids Alert Network. All you have to do is go here. I'll put up the link, stopice.net, stopice.net. There it is. Go find out. Okay, unconfirmed report, Walnut and Anaheim, Long Beach, Eisenhower, Alexandria, Virginia, Highway 100 and Excelsior Boulevard, all the things and the places that you would need to know so that you go out and shake hands kindly with ICE. Well, that's all got to be paid by somebody. Don't you think? Of course it is. Here's something from Blue Lives Matter. And there's more proof here that protests are paid and they're not organic. Oh, come on. You'd have to be a 2-year-old to know that these are spontaneous. They're not being paid. They're funded out of the gushing good nature of leftists because they have a lot of money anyway, right? But why not? If it's there, why not tap the vein of the American Model 1 Mark I taxpayer? Just enough to make the taxpayer's head a little woozy, a little woggy, you know, and like a vampire, put the bat up to the jugular and make sure there's sufficient lapping that you get enough of the spice, because that spice is flowing to not just the money. Street fundraiser, earn up to $3,000 a week. Stop ICE now. Minneapolis, $100 to $5,000 a week. Be a contractor. Job description. Stop ICE now is urgently hiring passionate individuals to join our street fundraising team. This isn't just a job, it's a chance to be part of a movement protecting vulnerable immigrant communities from deportation and family separation. The United States of America, where criminals are involved, separating families for literal decades. I cannot tell you, as a cop, how many families I separated when people committed crimes. And sometimes I took their children to the children's receiving home because sometimes both mommy and daddy went to jail because they were ignorant, stupid, fat, ugly. They didn't drink the right wine. Who knows? And I didn't care. But you went to jail and the kids went to kid jail. And frankly, I couldn't have cared less. Couldn't have cared less then. And I sure as hell don't care about that now. Kids, learn this now. Being an idiot has consequences. And frequently those consequences should hurt. They should be painful to all involved. And if that means that your kids are involved in there too, well, sadly, luckily, they're going to hurt as well. And maybe the point of it all is to ensure that your behavior changes so that you don't jeopardize the safety or the sanctity of your kids. But no, it's never your fault. It's always the fault of the cops. You're just a victim.
Conservative media done right. You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
Listen in to the Reaver of Common Sense, where we cut through the noise of news and politics with a show equipped for bombast. Tune in Mondays and Fridays at 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. Pacific, featuring a refreshing dose of reality. Jersey Joe fearlessly tackles the tough topics with no nonsense, just pure common sense. Visit shrmedia.com, where you can hear the Reaver of common sense in action. He may not always be polite, he may not always be refined, but one thing's for sure, he always tells it like it is.
Are you looking for a way to boldly express your faith and love for your country? Then check out Seven Armors, the premier apparel company for patriotic men of God, where faith meets freedom in style. Our t-shirts are more than just clothing, they're statements. Bold, stylish, and meaningful. From timeless messages to modern designs, we've got something for every patriotic man of God. Wear your beliefs proudly with Seven Armors gear. Don't miss the chance to wear your faith and freedom on your sleeve. Visit 7armors.com today and join the movement. That's the number 7armors.com. 7armors.com. Faithful, vigilant, steadfast, passion.
Are you looking for bold and honest conversation about the issues shaping America? Well, let me welcome you to Unleash 101 with Jeremy Hansen, where we take you beyond the headlines. We dive into politics and culture, struggles of everyday life. It's raw, real, and unfiltered. If you're ready for truth with a punch, pull up a chair and join us. That's right, Unleash 101, where real talk feels like home. Find us at unleash101.com, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and more. We look forward to seeing you. Unleashed 101 with Jeremy Hansen.
Freedom. One nation in all of human history was built on that bedrock. Ours. A republic of the people, by the people, and for the people. Self-government requires freedom, just as freedom requires an individual willingness to self-govern. Freedom has made America exceptional, but it can only last as long as you and I seek the good, as expressed by the laws of nature and nature's God. It can only last if you and I choose to act as people of character. Forging character has been the pursuit of Hillsdale College since 1844.
You're listening to the SHR Media Network.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the final half hour of the show. This is one of those shows where you could make it a 10-hour show. You can't possibly get all of the information in there that is there to be seen and discovered with regard to the spice must flow. And that's why Democrats and leftists are fighting tooth and claw against everything that conservatives and Republicans, if they're not weak-ass pussies, are trying to do. I was hoping that I was going to be able to get there today, but I don't believe I will be able to. Perhaps on Thursday, I will be able to do that. And guaranteed, by Thursday, there will be so many more things that will have already changed because, like the people that I believe that they are, the Republicans have caved. Well, some will say, well, it's going to be revisited, BZ. The SAVE Act will be revisited. Oh, really? Will it? By whom? By Johnson? Do you think he's going to willingly go back and do that? Because, again, isn't this the truth about both parties? Well, of course it's the truth. And that's why the spice must flow to both sides of the aisle. when they're not betrayal artists. Republicans are the under rhino miners. And a lot of them, that's their damn job, is to do precisely that. If I had enough time, I could go into who all those people are. And I don't just not mind naming names. I love to name names. But let's continue with the money. Follow the money. Always follow the money. Cui bono. Okay, so there are Craigslist ads. All right. Hiring people for up to if you can feature this, $12,500 a week. Now, what kind of a terrorist anarchist would you have to be to rate $12,500 a week? Well, you'd have to be damn reliable, wouldn't you? Maybe have your own Rolls Royce Phantom that you'd park, like 20 blocks away so nobody touches it or scratches it or gets, like the pinstriping, the hand painted pinstriping on your coach injured in some fashion.
Text that I just sent you, Rob, pop that up. There is anonymous accounts on Craigslist looking for the toughest badasses in the city of Los Angeles, 6,500 to 12,000 per week. And they describe exactly what you're going to do. You're going to kick ass. You're going to do this. We'll give you high pressure, no risk, no room for hesitation. Need individuals who do not break, panic, or fold under stress. They're recruiting people to be part of the.
How do you know this is tied to that?
The response is from LA. And they took it down. It went
They
all,
took
it
it
went
down last
all
night.
over in LA.
But how do you know? How do you know this is them though? So they're asking these guys to go do the damages.
And
to,
the area. This supposedly popped up 2 days ago. Text that I just sent you, Rob. Pop that up.
Okay, so like I say, this is not paid. It's just organic. It's spontaneous because the people have said so. Here's another factor that I believe you need to consider, that you have to throw into the mix. Okay, everybody remember Doge from last year? Elon Musk. How much money was exposed? How much money we would never know was subject to that? How we went after USAID because it didn't aid anybody except leftists, NGOs, Democrats, globalists, anarchists. It certainly didn't hurt them at all. It didn't benefit the actual citizens and the taxpayers of the United States. Oh no, not at all. But the weird thing is, as soon as USAID was mostly kind of sort of shut down, when some leftist piece of shit, black robe anarchist, biased anarchist didn't stop things, the Democrats started having difficulty raising money. Did you see the linkage from that? How weird that is. And all the billions of dollars of your taxpayer dollars funded those NGO networks and the thousands of activists, who they discover they can't donate anymore to the Democrats. So let me see if I can put this up and embiggen it, make it bigger for you. Bigger, B-I-G-G-A-H. Maybe you can see this. RNC versus DNC cash on hand and debts per vote hub. At the start of 2025, the RNC had $38 million, $0 in debt. The DNC had $22.1 million, $0 in debt. At the end of 2025, last year, the RNC had $95.1 million, $0 in debt, and the DNC had $12.6 million, $16 million in debt. How does that happen? Well, perhaps it's because they spent it. And you can see all these. Just go to, like I said, the Rumble channel, and you'll see all these in the show links, and you can go peek at those at your leisure. So crime pays. Activism pays. Activism. Well, anarchy pays. Terrorism pays. and crime pays. And then here's a minute of showing you and listening. You can hear and see, well, yeah, it does pay.
What if we, as Republicans, would have went to the border and protested? Instead, we just let everybody come in.
You know why? It's because we don't have a George Soros that's funding these operations. These people are being paid between $80,000 and $120,000 a year to be paid protesters.
Nice gig, if you can get it.
When you're a paid protester and you're a kind of a wingnut, those two things go.
Oh, come on. Not kind of a wingnut. You are a fucking leftard.
Hand in hand. And yes, you'll fly to other cities and stay there.
Well, why wouldn't you? You're paid.
And put your body at risk of fighting the federal government. There's an anarchy happening that I worry about people. I know people are compassionate, and I get that. I want to be compassionate towards people too. But if you start throwing...
I do not. When you run out of money, I'm sorry. Hey, leftists, this is what I said before. This is what I said to Billie Eilish. Shut the fuck up and put all those illegal invaders in your house. Billie Eilish, if you're staying in that house and flaunting indigenous people and saying, hey, bite me, indigenous people. I've got a $14 million mansion that I'm not going to relinquish. The least you could do, Billie Eilish, is put as many illegal invaders crashed into that house. I'm guessing you could probably get between 200 and 300 illegal invaders in that wonderful place, and you could give them a pool, a place to go. But you won't do that, because when people say put up or shut up, you don't put up. And you sure as hell don't shut up.
Out the laws of the federal government and saying, well, I'll follow this law, but I won't follow that law. I'll be an anarchist here, but I...
Okay, what would happen, do you suspect, if all of a sudden conservatives said, you know, we will do what leftists do. We will do what Democrats do. We have a menu, and from this menu, we will decide what laws we will obey. You know, it's like column A and column B. I'll take no laws from column A, and I'll only obey laws, let's say J through L on column 2, because that'd be okay, wouldn't it? Of course it would. If it's okay for leftists, it should be okay for everyone.
I won't be an anarchist there. I'll fight against anarchy in some other way. Then you're just inviting the destruction of the country as a whole, because without the rule of law, we're going to fold.
Well, really, if you're wealthy like the rest of these people at the Grammys, you got to ask yourself, do they really care? Do they really care about any of that stuff? And the answer is no. Of course they don't care. We're going to jump ahead. 12 minutes. Shoot, again, a jam-packed show. More information in a 2-hour show than you customarily get in a full week of news. And I tell you the good stuff that you really ought to know. Also, if you happen to be on X and you're not following this guy, you should be. This is so funny. I need a drink. This isn't alcohol, but what the hell? This guy is on X, and his handle is "Bitch, you need soap." I'm sorry. That is absolutely superior in all respects. And go through there. He said basically none of this is going to be possible without Astarce and at Data Republican. Oh my God, if you're not following Data Republican, oh my God, what's wrong with you? You're not following Data Republican. Uncovering the Bullshit, Volume 2, Beyond Minnesota. Just go to this guy's site on X and just start up and just go, holy crap. I look into Seattle. Holy crap. And all these other places. Holy crap. Ice Watch. There's all the goods right there that you could want. All the information with articles, etc. on X. Go to beachyouneedsoap.com. And more is coming. Dear Boristan, taken over and subsumed by Muzzies. Jack at Jack Unheard says, I've been on the ground in Dearborn, Michigan for weeks. The story is just the tip of the iceberg. We'll be completely exposing a certain group involved in a horrific crime. Final pieces are being locked in here. And I'll just read this, but I'll be tickling your brain with this. It's just a reminder that keep a bit of a finger on this. Former Michigan Democrat Party treasurer Tracy Komak, Komak, is charged for allegedly embezzling money from an incapacitated adult who she was a conservator for. Do you see now where I'm going? This is a wonderfully open wallet and a locale and a source of money for grifters who are on the left. So, conservativeship. Being a conservative for a conservator for someone who is incapacitated. Oh, the massive potentialities of all of that. They are soon to be glorious. Well, they probably are already glorious. And then this gentleman is going to tell you all about, well, not all about, because it's just the tip of the iceberg. He's going to tell you a little bit about Kalifailure. And like I said, with regard to, the spice is going to flow. It's so overwhelming. It's so overwhelming that if you actually begin to think about it, this happens. Because there's no other alternative. There's no way to not have that happen, because the grift and the scams and the fraud and the corruption is so deep, so inculcated, so lengthy, and has been so for so many years. And we are just now beginning to understand from whence it stems. This is coming out of all the Marxist blue states. The show must go on. The spice must flow. They, corruptors, muzzies, people who love muzzies, illegal invaders, all the people that support the illegal invader industrial complex and want to replace you, they become the millionaires and the billionaires. And you get fucked as the American taxpayer, because you got to foot the bill and you got to pay for it all. So there's a guy in LA, and he's called, he's the LA controller, which has to do with all the cash. Comptroller. Two things meaning the same thing. Guy's name is Kenneth Mejia. And he uncovered the California NGO that got $23 million and stole it and bought mansions in California. The homeless were, I can't imagine how this happens. The homeless were complaining because they weren't being fed. And when it was, they were getting ramen and beans. So let's listen to this guy and listen to what he has to say.
Today, a homeless service provider was arrested for fraudulently obtaining $23 million in taxpayer funds. This all stemmed from my office's Fraud, Waste, and Abuse Unit's investigation when we received a hotline tip about residents at a homeless site not being served the necessary and contractual meals. When we went there, we found out that residents were being served with instant ramen, cans of beans, and breakfast bars.
That's like the litany of shit that I had to eat while I was in college in my first series of jobs that I took. I lived on mac and cheese. We didn't have breakfast bars back then, but yeah, beans, Spam, noodles, mac and cheese, all that.
When we asked for documentation and backup for invoices and billing documents, we noticed that we were given fake invoices as well. So this led to the district attorney's office and the U.S. attorney's office investigating this and leading to this arrest. My office only has 5 fraud, waste, and abuse investigators for the second largest city in the United States.
Okay, stop right there. Let me tell you something. You intuit this anyway, but I can tell you that's intentional. That's purposeful. Because once you dig sufficiently deep to discover the sources of these cases of fraud, then you stem the flow of the spice. And if, this is just, it's 23 million in this little, relatively teeny little case. Now multiply that. And this is what will blow your brainstem. Multiply that times the number of cities in California, which happens to be 452. Now multiply that times the counties in the state of California, Kalifailure, which are 58. Now multiply that times the cities in the rest of according to Obama, 58 states. Multiply that times the 50 states remaining and all the cities in those states and all the counties in those states, including DC. And if you think this isn't occurring in our territories as well, you'd be seriously mistaken. And then only then would you begin to have the semblance of a grasp of what the hell is going on in this entire country. The spice must flow. That this guy, Mejia, in the county and the city of Los Angeles, because it says city of Los Angeles right there on his little shirt. For the city of Los Angeles, multiple millions of people, over 50% of which are Mexican and Hispanic, and the bulk of those are illegal invaders. I wonder if there's fraud to be discovered anywhere in the city of Los Angeles. And yet, with the possibilities being endless there, he has 5 fraud investigators. And so Karen Bass and her League of Commies have decided that this cannot be allowed to occur. And that's why areas and city agencies like this, like the comptroller, are disallowed from getting involved in investigations or having a staff even remotely sizable in order to have the capability to put any kind of a grasp on any of this fraud and corruption. That is 100% intentional, because the spice must flow and the discoveries cannot be made. And I'm telling you, if you live in Los Angeles, city or county, the fraud there is staggering. But then again, in every lurk, leftist urban rat cage, the fraud is
There are
staggering.
over 40 departments, and there is an annual budget of every department that amounts to over $35 billion. Last year, my office received over 700 fraud, waste, and abuse claims. If the city is very serious about ensuring that there is transparency and accountability over your tax dollars, but most importantly, making sure that these tax dollars are helping the most vulnerable people in need, then we need to invest in stronger oversight and independence in our office.
No shit, Sherlock. But that'll never happen, because the money, the spice must flow to all their little asshole butt buddies and themselves. They are there to embiggen their own wallets and the wallets of all their friends. You, as the taxpayer, you can go to hell. Here's something else. So it was discovered, and this is rich. OHK, Oil Hair Knee Pads, has decided that he is going to sue Dr. Mehmet Oz personally for telling the truth. So it turns out there's $3.5 billion. You've seen it before. I'm not going to do the obvious again. $3.5 billion in hospice fraud just in Los Angeles County alone. And let me see, that would be a 7-fold increase due to Russian and Armenian gangs just in the last year. And they are working with corrupt, paid off doctors who are willing to lie and be corrupt themselves. So it goes like this. This is just one of hundreds of scams. Again, this is just in Los Angeles. Okay, so fraudsters, what happens is they go after the seniors, like me, if I were stupid. But they go after the seniors. They offer cash to them in return for just giving or writing down their Social Security number or their Medicare, mostly their Medicare ID number. Here you go, ma'am. Just write it down right here. And, you'll get $100. Who can beat that? All I need is your number. I don't need your card. I don't need your wallet. Just give me your Medicare ID number. And then after that, the Medicare number gets sold to hospice companies for thousands and thousands of dollars. So because in Los Angeles, the federal government pays $260 a day for every single senior under this care. Okay. Now multiply $260 of your taxpayer monies, your cash, multiply that times the number of people that are on Medicare, $260 a day times all those people. Big numbers for seniors and for fake patients. Money going to gangs. Okay. So Mehmet Oz happens to be the administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, in the Trump admin. And so his job is to go after fraudulent billing. And what he discovered is Los Angeles hospice fraud. This is just hospice fraud. Nothing else. Nothing, honey. Reaches billions of dollars. And Medicare providers scam the federal system and your hard-earned taxpayer dollars with fake companies. And with that, I'm running out of time. I'm not going to do any overtime. God, I wish I'd put this up here, but I ran out of spaces to put up the graphics. But tomorrow night, for those who may be interested, I will be on with Stephen L. Hall at 4 p.m. Pacific, which is 6 p.m. Central and 7 p.m. Eastern. And I will be on for an hour with Stephen L. Hall in Inquiry on KLRN. And in Inquiry, I ask a question of Stephen L. Hall. And I had him on with Rick Robinson the other day. Dude's an attorney. Dude is super smart. And all you do is you ask him a question and you wind him up and you let him go. And then he takes the rest of the show to answer the question. And then you throw a couple of counter questions to him. And then when you're through, you drink. Now, I can't drink yet. And I'll show you why on Thursday, why I can't drink. But in any event, auf jeden Mal, thanks for being here. And before I go, I absolutely must, or I will bodily bust, say that you got to watch Earl Big E Jackson on the Mission Ready Men Briefing. He is on SHR on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Central, and noon Eastern. We got a show on SHR for you for every day of the week. And also, I want to point out Jersey Joe on the Reaver of Common Sense. He is on Monday and Friday nights, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, and 9 p.m. Eastern. He is before this next gentleman, who is Sean on the Edge of Liberty on Monday and Wednesday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Central, and 11 p.m. Eastern. So we've got a plethora of shows for you to watch. And thanks to everybody for being here tonight. Thanks to KLRN and Tax the Rick for simulcasting me, being very kind for doing that. And let's see, tomorrow I'll be on with Inquiry, and tomorrow night will also be Edge of Liberty. Where is he? Where is Sean? Is it the periphery, the circumnavigation of liberty? No, he's on the edge. Here we go. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, thanks for listening to BZ's Berserk Bobcat Saloon radio show, live and direct right here on the SHR Media Network. I happen to be that dude named BZ, and as per normal, I'm going to have to change my sponsors here. Promotional consideration by the Lockheed Martin Skunk Works, also by Shure and Electro Voice microphones, the Arrakis company that make my mixer, and also the company called Pratt & Whitney Manufacturing Engines, dependable engines, which thusly produce thrust. You, not me, because I don't fly, they produce thrust you can trust. I trust, however, my BZ's KC-135 Kettle One refueling team, who gets me there by way of Kettle One vodka. Now, I didn't say I fly in it. I don't. But they bring it to me, and then I make use of it. So everybody, I'll be back Thursday night. Everybody, Inquiry tomorrow night at KLRN, 4 p.m. Pacific. God bless. Take care. Everybody, all y'all, be safe.
Quiet down now and get some sleep.
Night, everybody.
Night, Mama. Night, Ben.
Good night, everyone. Good night, Mama. Good night, Daddy.
Good night, children. Good night, Daddy. Good night, Elizabeth.
Good night, John Boy. Good night, Jim Bob. Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, Jim Bob.
What's going on? I was asleep. What's everybody doing?
Good night,
Good night, Jim Bob.
Good night, and good luck.